Rabbi, just so you know, I have the blessings available for people on the screen.
Oh, I see.
Okay, great, thanks. I'm just
It's
live
overwhelmed.
on YouTube right now, so I think that we're.
Cater.
Wait, this is live on YouTube?
See you unless we go back.
Better fix your hair,
Ellen and
Ed.
Debbie,
Stories
Cantor.
about Chuck from when he was younger?
there's the rose.
Berlin, Andy Berlin.
Shalom.
So Ed, do you think there's any chance Yavna is going to happen this summer?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let's,
This is educator from
we'll hold out hope.
San Pedro. They can just do.
There another Wisconsin person?
We're good.
So, folks, we're going to begin. Eric and Cantor and Michael, do you want to unmute yourselves, please?
Yeah.
So I'll turn it over to the Smolins in just a minute, but for those who are regular participants in our services, you might wonder, like, why are all these people here, these unfamiliar faces? Looks like my wife did a very good job of surprising me today. Today's my birthday, and people have said, are you doing anything special for your birthday? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna, hang on and lead Shabbat services. Did not think I was gonna be sharing the table blessings with so many of my friends and family from near and far. I'm gonna need to go through the screen and see exactly who's there because everyone is all over the place. But from different parts of my life, folks are here from my childhood friends, my colleagues, people from Northern California, Southern California, who even used to live there and like us don't live there anymore. So it's just great to see everyone. So thanks everyone for coming. This is just really, really special. And I really wish that I could just hang out with everyone afterwards, but I guess we'll just have to set up another Zoom room to do that and just hang out. So thank you. So as this is a new thing that we're doing here for those in our Shirami community, that we're sharing the table blessings before so that some of our families, maybe folks who might not be able to sit through a service with younger kids, can join us and light candles and say Kiddush and bless our children and say Motzi. We're going to do that in just a moment. What we've also been doing, folks know that many of our children of our young people, our students, who had prepared long and hard to become bar bat mitzvah, they've had to postpone their celebrations, or if they've done them, it's been very different. But we still want to honor them on the weekend that they would become bar bat mitzvah, because they have certainly worked very hard and they have mastered everything, especially our table blessings of candles and kiddush. So I want to turn it over to the Smolin family, where Mr. Aaron Smolin will become bar mitzvah in November, but this was his bar mitzvah weekend, and want to invite Aaron and his father Michael, or Mr. Michael, our song leader, as you know, Rachel,
Lillian's here,
and Lillian to lead us in the blessing. And now we can go to our candles. Okay. And yes, whoever's parking there, it's making good money.
Michael, does that work for you?
Yeah, we can see that. We're just, we missed any other instructions. Should we read the blessing first, the reading first? What would you like?
Whatever works for you guys works for us. Probably the reading.
Read. The reading. Yeah. Nice and loud.
As soon as that stops.
Go. Just go.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
All right, Aaron's going to lead us in Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom Techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu bacharta beotanu kidashta michol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon Inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. So for those who have your children nearby, we'll take a moment just to bless our children. So come on, guys, gotta come a little closer. We'll try to find, can anybody see Avi's hair right here? It is very long. Ed, it kind of looks like yours when you were 13 years old. So I'm going to invite those who have children nearby to place your hands on the heads of your children, or to think of the children in your hearts who you are thinking of right now, and repeat after me. Actually, you know what? I'll just say the blessing and instead of going back and forth. Yes. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Amen.
May God bless you and keep you. Na'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
Amen.
May God's face shine brightly on you and be good to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Amen.
And may God reach out to you and give you the gifts of love, of joy, of resilience, and the gift of peace. Amen.
Amen.
And if anyone has challah nearby, there you go. One of the things I've been noticing over the last several weeks is that it seems like everybody who maybe never made challah before is now making fresh baked challah. So it's nice to have this treat week in, week out. So if you have a challah, just lift it up and let's, Cantor, would you like to?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shabbat Shalom.
Now, Rabbi, we would be remiss if I don't mind saying this, that your wife is amazing, as you know, in so many, many ways, including the fact that she was so kind enough to send me a few special pictures today that maybe we can share with our friends as a way to say thank you for everything you've done for our congregation for the last couple of years and to wish you happy birthday. So the following slide is really a tribute to you for the last couple of years and may include a picture of you with a goatee. I'm just going to let you know in advance.
All right, better than with the mullet.
Thank you for everything you've done for our congregation, and we're going to join together in the singing of happy birthday to you before we head into Shabbat services. But for those who don't know, Rabbi has been such a wonderful influence on our kids. As you can see in the pictures here, he's been both indoors and outdoors with our entire congregation, whether leading us on Shabbat and holiday walks in the parks around where we are, being with family, as you can see, all throughout the world, and spending time with our students each and every day. So thank you, Rabbi, for everything you do, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
Birthday to you. Come on over here, David. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rabbi. Happy birthday to you. Mandy Mo.
I remember Reverend having to.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
that someday you're glad that someday
Thank you so much, everyone. What a great surprise. I was asking Karen, like, anything happening today? And I was really glad that I didn't get a car parade. That would have been a little bit embarrassing. But, and it would have been hard for some of our friends who are across the country. So, and Ray, I think I got a little hint this afternoon. My friend Ray Murphy is on there somewhere, who makes this amazing stuff. I'm gonna have a little bite of it here.
You can read me.
Ray, you did a good job. Very good job. Thank you, Ray. We're going to begin in about maybe 5 minutes or so. If folks, we can unmute yourselves, you can chat. I might just quick go around and say hi to my friends who are here as well. But thank you everyone for coming, and we'll just begin our service in just a few minutes. So thank you, Julie. I'm going to go around and see who's there.
Thanks, Chuck. It's Elliot.
Thanks, Alan and Debbie. Good to see you. It's been way too long. Hi, Lisa and Dan. Dave, it's good to see you. Really bummed that our kids won't be spending the summer in Israel together, but good to see you here. Hey, Elliot, how are you? Catch us out real quick. Thank you, Minnie. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, Deb and David. Great to see you guys.
Hey, birthday, Rabbi Briskin.
There's Telio. And there's Ed there.
Marla. Thanks, Brad and Sharon. And Jay, nice to see you.
He was showing food before.
Andy, good to see you. Always a great background there.
Shabbat Shalom. Happy birthday.
Thanks, Rachel. How's the house? Everything good, Rachel? No snow? Thanks, Ed. Do you see Avi's hair? It is just like yours circa 1982. It's crazy.
Happy birthday.
Picture's not up.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Rabbi.
Good to see you.
Inviting us, Karen.
What else am I missing? Hello, David. Thanks, Jeff and Esther.
And Mel drinking.
David. Thanks, David. I think we'll see you.
You're welcome to stick around for services.
Happy birthday, Rabbi.
Thanks, Matthew. Good to see you.
See you soon.
Happy birthday, Rabbi Briskin.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Karen, thank you for the pictures. They were great.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, Bill and Kim and Sherry, for coming on. Like I said, when I saw you guys on here, I knew something was up. I thought Marla comes on every now and then. It's been a while, but so that should have been my first clue. And my friend Ray said, you might have a little surprise today, which was the was that cake that she makes. So it's delicious. So all right, so I don't know how we're supposed to transition. What? I think I got everyone. So I don't know how we're supposed to transition to services, but we're going to do that. So it's kind of fortunate tonight. We are I'm kind of doing what we would normally do once a month. Have our visual tequila with led by Cantor Colbrenner and Michael Smolin, our song leader, and Goldberg. It's good to have everybody here. So all the words are going to be on the screen. So if you want to just stick around and join us, even without a prayer book, you certainly can. So I'll turn it over to Cantor Colbrenner.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So it's wonderful that we're all here together. So we are going to sing Hine Ma Tov together. And Mr. Michael is going to lead us.
All right, here we go. I hope you will all sing along at home. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Please echo me. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
you hear?
Business.
So, is everybody muted except those of us who should be talking? So,
No, that is not the case.
okay, so everyone, you mute everyone except me for a moment. If you can.
Okay, I just need to stop sharing.
I got it. All right. Oop. Wait.
We're trying to be our own tech people and service leaders at the same time. So anyway, so Shabbat Shalom again. It's great to be together. I'm glad the sun finally came out today after a couple of rainy days. And a lot of people said, what are you doing? Anything special for your birthday? And I just said, yeah, I'm just going to celebrate Shabbat. And again, what a great surprise to have so many people, my friends and family, come and join us. So I really appreciate it. I wish that we could spend our own Shabbat together afterwards and be there in person, but it was wonderful to be together. Again, Mazel Tov to Aaron for having worked hard to make it to this stage, prepare for this day. And Aaron, just remember everything that you've learned, hold it in your head for the next several months, and we'll be back again in November to celebrate in person.
Okay, thank you.
So as we continue our service by welcoming the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi, I'll ask Rabbi Goldberg to put the words up onto the screen. Cantor Colburn, thank you. If you're in a place where you can stand, continue with Baruch Hu.
listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
So much of the music that we'll be singing tonight are songs that are associated with camp. And anyone who is in the Union for Reform Judaism camp orbit, whether from Camp Harlem or the 6 Points programs, we're still reeling from the news that we received yesterday, perhaps not terribly unexpected, but still devastating nevertheless, that all of the URJ camp and summer programs for the summer were canceled. So as we hold that disappointment, that sadness with us, we still remember that a new day and new light will come. And this particular piece of music from Ariv Aravim, Roll Into Dark, Roll Into Light, done at camp almost every Shabbat, we know that this darkness will turn into light, and we can't wait till we can share our light together.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyon balayla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Pick your favorite part. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Switch parts. Boreyon balayla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. All together. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Before I share this reading, just a technical piece here. I know that folks really like to see one another, and sometimes when you have something on the screen, you only get one panel of photos. Wherever your panel is, there's a line there. If you just draw the line in or out or up or down, whatever, however it's oriented, you'll be able to see more faces, more boxes, and more screens of folks, even though the words will get smaller. So it's just a way to be able to bring more community in together. Loving life and its mysterious source with all our heart, with all our spirit, all our senses and strength, we take upon ourselves these promises: to care for the earth and those who live upon it, to pursue justice and peace, to love kindness and compassion, We will teach this to our children throughout the passage of the day, as we dwell in our homes and as we go on our journeys, from the time we rise until the time we sleep. With these words, we close our eyes, not to go to sleep, but simply to find that oneness of God that is inside each of us. It is also traditional in many communities to sit for Shema, so if you are seated, don't feel that you need to stand. We'll follow the lead of Cantor Colbrenner.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. We continue with Ve'ahavta. I don't know if we want to put the words up for just this part so people can chant.
Can you guys not see the words?
They're up. They're up.
Up. Okay. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, bedibarta bam, beshiptecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot ayadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uktavtam Amezuzot beitecha uvish'arecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel teaches, faith does not spring out of nothing. It comes with the discovery of the holy dimension of our existence. Faith means to hold small things great, to take light matters seriously, to distinguish the common and the passing from the aspect of the lasting. It is faith from which we draw the sweetness of life, the taste of the sacred, the joy of the imperishably dear. It is faith that offers us a share in eternity.
Adonai,
The answer to your question, Rabbi, is yes, and here is the next reading will come after Hashkivin.
So as we prepare to sing Hashkivenu, our nighttime prayer, again, one of the beautiful traditions at most camps is ending the day with the siyum, a conclusion for the day when we sing Shema and Hashkivenu. As we prepare to send our children off to bed, at camp, it's maybe bed, maybe just hanging out in the cabin for a while. In our own homes, it's that precious moment or two that we have before our kids fall asleep, that we get to just say words of prayer and blessing and ask God to shelter them and guard them through the night into the next day. So we'll sing together Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shoreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Give me a quiet heart and help me to hear the still small voice that speaks within me. It calls me to come closer to you and to grow in your likeness. It teaches me to do my work faithfully, even when no one's eye is upon me, so that I may come to the end of each day feeling that I used its gifts wisely and faced its trials bravely. It counsels me to judge others less harshly and to love them more freely. It persuades me to see the divinity in everyone I meet. So we'll take some time to find that quiet space in our heart, to offer prayers of praise and thanksgiving as we do on Shabbat. We'll enter in together, and then we'll have the opportunity just to take a few moments of silent prayer. I can't recall, Eric, if the prayers are going to go through or just silent prayer, but whatever is on the screen or whatever is in your heart, feel free to pray whatever is there.
And the prayers will be there.
Wonderful, thank you.
Adonai Svatai Tifta, Adonai Svatai Tifta, Ufiagid Tehilatecha, Ufiagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tifta, Adonai Svatai Tifta, Ufiagid Tehilatecha, Ufiagid Tehilatecha.
As we prepare to turn our thoughts and our prayers to those in our community who are in need of healing of body or mind or spirit, especially those who continue to battle the coronavirus, trying desperately to recover, we take a few moments to share the names of our friends and loved ones for whom we are praying this Shabbat. So as we've been doing for the last several weeks, I invite you to type the name or names of your loved ones in the chat box. I'll read the names, and then afterwards, if anyone didn't get a chance to read or type in a name, just raise your hand in front of the screen and I'll just go through my order here and you'll be able to share the names aloud. So we pray for continued strength and healing and recovery. Sally Marriott, Nancy Cohen, Flora Day, Gary Luck, Paula Landau, Jeff Rothstein, Randy Fair, Richard Dutkin, Mark Spicer, Alan Snyder, Dara Foster Storch, Ria Silverberg, Dov Novick, Ariel Novick, Deborah Roseburg, Steve Pulaski, Debbie Bitterman, Barbara Rosenberg, Elena Sheehan, Jordan Goldberg, Karen Levenberg, Joan Woodland, Marilyn Denenberg, Karen Terbovic, Selma Swartz, Lou Fleischer, Dara Foster Storch, Donna Albanese, Ellen Handler, Phil Falkowitz, Jim Harper, Dana Turek, Esther Green, Krumi Heyer, Laura Burstein and family, Jan Maharam, Adina Rosenberg, all Camp Harlem campers and staff. Rita Levin, Blanche Rackety, Barbara Polanski, Holton Weingrad, Richard Kaplan, Joan Foley, Diane Greenberg, Mordechai Mayan, Sherry Katz, Marty Spiegel, Sylvia Davis. Michael Sachs. If you did not have a chance to share a name, just raise your hand and I'll just go through the screens. Make sure I got everyone. Yep, Dara.
My mother, Audrey Winston.
And Larry Dane.
Thank you. Oh, no, David, yeah. Is that Eva? Yeah. Say again, David. Eva?
Novick, Ariel Novick.
And Deborah Roseburg.
Thank you. If I missed anyone, just unmute yourself for a moment. So for all those we named, the names of Rabbi Sissy Koren and Rabbi Rob Nosenchuk. For all those we named and those we name in our hearts, those whose names we hold in our hearts, we pray together.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. B'Sheverav imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Thank you, Michael. So we'll take a few moments now, as we do once a month, to celebrate those who are marking anniversaries or birthdays in this month of May. Clearly, for the last couple of months, our birthdays and anniversaries have been unusual, to say the least, and probably a whole lot more creative than we would have imagined, whether it's by having people Zoom bomb Shabbat services for me or the car parades that people have gotten. So, but nevertheless, we honor and celebrate all those. So first of all, are there, and I can't see everybody on the screen. I'm gonna need some help from Eric Cantor Colbrenner. Is there anyone celebrating anniversaries? I'm gonna do anniversaries first. Oh, Eric, okay, and the Smolins, all
I
right.
get the double whammy this month. I'm excited.
There you go, all righty, okay. And who? Anybody else there?
Well, we celebrated our anniversary on the 27th of last month, a couple
That's
days ago.
Close enough. All right. That's, you're still within like, that little grace period, April into May. That's fine. So,
It looks like Mo as well, and Stephanie.
Wonderful.
Rabbit.
Excellent. Excellent. So let me just get to my blessing here.
Well, and are we just doing anniversaries first, or
we'll do anniversaries and then we'll do blessings. Then we'll do birthdays, excuse me. So for those celebrating their anniversaries in this month of May, a month of renewal, when the leaves blossom and leaves grow back on the trees, the flowers blossom, and new love takes root. We thank God for the unity that has brought our couples together in this month of May. So we offer God's blessing. Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all of you, these couples who will celebrate their anniversaries this month. God, they offer thanks for all the kindness you have done for them throughout their lives, from the day they entered into a covenant of love to the present day. And God, as they have merited celebrating today, so too may they enjoy length of days until a ripe and full old age. God, may they enjoy blessing and success in all they undertake together. And let us say, Amen. All right. So who shares this month of May with me in terms of celebrating our birthdays? Oh,
We do.
Okay. Oh yeah. Aiden and Shane, excellent.
Aiden and
Shane. Who of the
Firestone.
Oh, the Firestones, excellent. Who's that? Brandon, excellent. Very nice. I see Bob.
Linda.
Who does? Oh, look. See, May is. See, all of you, all of us, you were born in the most awesome month of the year because it's when we were all born, right? So, because I only say this once a year when it's May, because then it's really all about us, so celebrate together. So,
I was going to go Brandon, suns out, guns out myself, but I decided to wear some short sleeves today.
I got taken off the shirt in 3 days.
I gotta see this later. I can't. Everything is. I'll look for Brandon afterwards. You can probably see him. I'm like looking over my glasses for this. So pretend that we are in the sanctuary and we are under the chuppah as we would celebrate and as we would bless one another. We'll share this blessings for all of us who celebrate in this month of May. Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who celebrate their birthdays during this month of May. As we have found nourishment throughout their lives up until this present time, may they continue to be protected and filled with life and happiness and enjoy many more years of life and blessing. May all of us, family and friends, rejoice in them. And may all of their wishes, all of our wishes be fulfilled for good. And let us say, Amen.
Those same blessings to you, Rabbi, on your birthday month.
Thank you. Thank you. And we expect everyone to be back in our sanctuary a year from now as we celebrate getting these blessings together in person. So happy birthday, everyone. Which of the Levy's birthday was it? It wasn't Fern's. Fern's was last month. Sophia's or Scott's? Whose was it in May? Scott? There you go. It's all right. I saw him. Happy early birthday, Scott.
Thank you. You too.
So I'm going to share a story. It's actually one, I typically don't do this, but it's one that I typically don't go back to stories that I've shared relatively recently. I can't remember exactly when I shared this one. I think might have been last fall, but I thought it really applied to this time we are in terms of how we go from one day to the next, how we recognize day from night, and how we are able to recognize beauty in our midst. This is called Day and Night. It comes from this collection called Capturing the Moon. This is a great collection called Capturing the Moon, Classic and Modern Jewish Tales Retold by Rabbi Edward Feinstein, a rabbinic colleague and friend of mine from Los Angeles. If there were just one thing we could change in the world to bring the world closer to perfection, what would it be? If there was just one change we could make in our character to bring us closer together, what would it be? Once upon a time, a rabbi asked his students, how do we know when the night has ended and the day has begun? The students thought and they grasped the importance of the question. There are, after all, prayers that can be recited and rites and rituals that can be performed only at night. And there are prayers and rites and rituals that belong only to the day. It is therefore important to know when night has ended and day has begun. It is important to get the prayers and rites and rituals correct. The brightest of the students offered an answer. Rabbi, when I look out at the fields and I can distinguish between my field and the field of my neighbor, that is when night has ended and the day has begun. A second student offered his answer. Rabbi, when I look from the fields and I see a house and I can tell that it's my house and not the house of my neighbor, that's when the night has ended and the day has begun. A third student offered an answer. Rabbi, when I see an animal in the distance and I can tell what kind of animal it is, whether a cow or a horse or a sheep, that's when the night has ended and the day has begun. A fourth student offered yet another answer. Rabbi, when I see a flower and I can make out the colors of the flower, whether they are red or yellow or blue, that's when the night has ended and each day and the new day has begun. Now, each answer brought a sadder and more severe frown to the rabbi's face until he finally shouted, no, not one of you understand. You only divide. You divide your house from the house of your neighbor, your field from your neighbor's field. You distinguish one kind of animal from another. You separate one color from all the others. Is that all we can do? Divide, separate, split the world into pieces? Isn't the world broken enough? Isn't the world split into enough fragments? Is that what the Torah is for? No, my dear students, it's not that way at all. The shocked students looked into the sad face of their rabbi. One of them ventured, then Rabbi, tell us, how do we know that night has ended and the day has begun? The rabbi stared back into the faces of his students, and with a voice suddenly gentle and imploring, he responded, when you look into the face of the person who is beside you, and you can see that person is your brother or your sister, then finally the night has ended and the day has begun. I was going to read the story that came before this one, and this one just inspired me simply because we're living in times when day turns to night and night turns to day, and we just sometimes have difficulty even knowing what day it is. You know, that joke that I've been sharing with others, I don't know what day it is, it just ends in D-A-Y. But I think that it's easy to lose sight of our neighbors and our friends, especially when we are apart from them. All the more so, we need to be able to recognize our friends, our neighbors, see the beauty that they bring to this world, that we all bring to this world. And even when it might be harder to see all the faces as the sun comes up, we know that people around us need us. They need our kindness and our compassion. They need our empathy. Those who are working on the front lines need our support. Those who are at the lowest rung of the socioeconomic ladder need our support. Now, this week's Torah portion, Parshat Kedoshim, speaks of ways that we protect the most needy in our society. And I hope that as we continue to rally together to face these difficult days together that turn into a night, that turn into a day, into a night, into a day, we'll always be able to see the face of one another and respond generously and kindly to help alleviate suffering, loneliness, distress, anything that brings someone down, that we can work to alleviate that and bring out wholeness and goodness, kindness and peace when we look into the face of our neighbors. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is time for announcements. And I turn the Zoom over to our president, John Stevens.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is, so I moved to a different computer tonight and I have this wonderful patchwork of 49 squares on my screen moving up from 9. And there is nothing better to see all of you all in one place. I want to thank you so much, Aaron Smolin, for leading our prayers tonight with the Smolin family. That's awesome that we have a preview of what November will be like, and we're very proud of you for all the work that has gotten you here to this day. Thank you to Rabbi Eric and Rabbi Briskin and Cantor, Rachel and Michael Smolin for leading our beautiful services tonight. You know, I think it's really lovely that we have this new tradition of the candle lighting at 6:15, and where we can have our families together who can be with us and join us in the blessing of our kids. So a couple of quick announcements as we go along. Some advance thanks to our outreach volunteers who will be contacting all of the congregation over the next couple of weeks, again, because it's really important, as Rabbi said in his words, about how we stay together and not divide. And it's important that we reach out to one another. I want to thank everyone who has so far been so generous in refilling our pantry. Some of you may have seen the rabbi's video in our email or stopped by to drop off food in our bins. We are blessed with everyone's support to refill our pantry in this time of need. And also thank you to all those who have donated online to help support the need for food insecurity in Bucks County. Andy Lasner has pointed out that we need to have the May food drive for JRA is coming up. Please check our email for that and much more information when you click on that. And another pretty important thing's coming up is that it's election time. And if you haven't registered or you haven't registered to get a mail-in ballot, I'd like you to think about that. And again, there's a link in the email to be able to do so. So we will continue with Shabbat celebrations tomorrow. Hevra Torah is at 10:15, led by Rabbi Briskin. Cantor Rachel is leading Havdalah tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. One of the lovely things about having visual tefillah is I have one less electronic device to try to manage, that the prayers are up on the screen. So that is great as well. Happy birthday and happy anniversary to everybody that we're all here. And I also want to say how grateful I am that for this Shabbat together, we went from east to west and north to south. And it was so lovely to have everyone from across the country to be together. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, John. Thank you. As we prepare to say Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, for those whom we remember, whose lives have been a blessing to us. There are stars up above, so far away, we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. This week we continue to mark the first 30 days of remembrance for Jack Chesner, Janet Berg, Susan Fish, and we count the days of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, for Shirley Saltzman and Barbara Lieb. And we remember those who died at this season in years past, whose Yortzeiten fall next week and whom we remember by name tonight. Richard Bernstein, Stephen Shackler, Edward Isidore Cohen, Jack Irenberg, Herbert Feldman, Ruth Friedman, Ruth Goldslieger, Sheldon Goodman, Murray Heller, Ed Cohen, Israel Kramer, Bernard Levine, Marilyn Meissner, Bill Rush, Nate Stein, and Jack Turek. If you're remembering someone this Shabbat and I neglected to share the name, I invite you to unmute yourself for a moment and share the name aloud.
Miles Buckman.
Thank you, Arlene. Anyone else?
Joseph Pennock.
Thank you.
Harvey Burstein.
Thank you.
Joseph Pennock.
Thank you.
It's Jackie's mom, dad.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. I'll ask those who are in a place to stand to please do so. I'm going to ask those who are mourning, who are actually saying Kaddish tonight for a loved one, I'll invite you to unmute yourselves so you can say Kaddish for your loved one. Those who are joining in Kaddish just to support others, I ask you just to keep your selves muted. We know that it can get a little bit cacophonous with a lot of sounds, but we want to hear the voices of those who need to say Kaddish.
I can't see.
Follow my lead. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah yalma divra chirutei yamlich machutei b'chaye chon u'vyomei chon u'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yit barach v'yit tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishbechata v'nechemata la'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya Chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mroma ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, Amen. In honor of it being Yom Ha'atzmaut this past week, we wanted to end a closing with a version of Am Yisrael Chai from the Jews of Uganda, as well as that we want to sing all together. So we're doing a medley. So take us away, Mr. Michael.
Amen. Am Yisrael Chai, Amen. Am Yisrael Chai, Amen. Am Yisrael Chai, Amen. Am Yisrael Chai. Oh, Davidu Chai. Oh, Davidu Chai. Oh, Davidu Chai. Oh, Davidu Chai. Amen. Amen. Amen Yisrael Chai. Amen. Amen. Amen Yisrael Chai. Amen. Amen. Amen Yisrael Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Ava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. 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 Ava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Ava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Ava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Ava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
Thank you, Michael. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Great to see
Shalom.
everyone. For those who want to hang out in a breakout room for Oneg Shabbat and with your friends, just hang out for a little bit. For those who are going to go back and enjoy dinner, or next thing, I'm going to enjoy a little bit more of this wonderful cake that Karen made for me before we have dinner. But anyone who wants to hang out into a breakout room, stick on for a few minutes. Everyone who is done, just Shabbat Shalom. We'll unmute everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Everyone can...
Happy birthday.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Happy birthday.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Birthday,
Shalom.
Chuck.
Be safe, be healthy.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Happy birthday, Rabbi.
Happy birthday.
My family and friends, stick on for a minute. My guests who came from out of town, stay on for a minute and don't go into a breakout room.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom,
Birthday,
everyone.
Rabbi.
Committee, and that would be
Happy
great.
birthday, everybody.
Shalom.
Happy
Rabbi, Shabbat
birthday.
Shalom.
Good surprise.
Smolin.
Happy birthday, Israel.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Israel.
Indeed, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm going to break folks out into breakout rooms. So Auntie Minnie, Ray, and
Say it
Marla,
again.
do not go to a room. I'll put everyone else into a room.
I'm
Sorry.
here.
1 second here.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.